The untold saga of Duck Dynasty. It began with a duck call and ended with a television empire. Duck Dynasty, the A&E reality series that premiered in March of 2012, didn't just chronicle the life of a backwoods family business, it redefined what a reality show could be. It was part comedy, part sermon, part Southern soap opera, and all wrapped in camo, beards, and bold personalities. But where did it really come from? Who were these larger-than-life characters? And why, at the height of its fame, did it all come to an end? Let's start with the man behind the duck call, Phil Robertson. A former Louisiana Tech football quarterback, Phil actually played ahead of future NFL legend Terry Bradshaw. But Phil walked away from football, saying he didn't want to miss duck hunting season. Instead, he earned a master's degree in education, then returned to the woods in his faith. In 1972, he invented the Duck Commander duck call in a worn-down shed, just a man, some reeds, and a dream. That call would launch a family business, then later a TV dynasty. Enter Willie Robertson, Phil's third son, and the driving force behind Duck Commander's explosion. Willie wasn't just another bearded hunter. He had a business degree and a vision. He turned the modest family business into a multi-million-dollar brand. And when a production company came knocking, Willie said yes to something no Robertson had ever done: reality TV. The family had dabbled in television before, starting with hunting DVDs, and later a short-lived show on the outdoor channel called Duck Commander. But it was Duck Dynasty on A&E that made them household names. Premiering in 2012, it offered America something different: a devout Christian family that loved faith, food, hunting, and messing with each other in equal measure. And then there were the characters. Uncle Si, Phil's brother, quickly became a fan favorite. A Vietnam vet with a blue Tupperware tea glass permanently attached to his hand and a pocket full of bizarre stories. Si was a walking meme factory. He'd ramble on about squirrel brains or mysterious swamp monsters, then offer an unexpected pearl of wisdom that somehow made perfect sense. "Hey, Jack" became a national catchphrase. Jase Robertson, the second son, was the laid-back craftsman with deadpan delivery. He preferred the duck blind to the boardroom and often clashed with Willie over business versus tradition. Jase was the voice of old-school Duck Commander. Jep Robertson, the youngest, was the tech-savvy one. Quieter, more reserved, but still deeply rooted in the family. He eventually got his own spin-off, Jep and Jessica, growing the dynasty, which explored his life with his wife and kids. Miss Kay, Phil's wife and the matriarch of the family, was beloved for her Southern cooking and unshakable love for her often cantankerous husband. She was the emotional glue of the show. And then there was Korie, Willie's wife, who brought warmth and business savvy in equal measure. As the show progressed, the Robertson women stepped into the spotlight more, becoming role models for conservative women across the country. Each episode followed a loose formula: a goofy scheme, a family squabble, some hunting or warehouse antics, and a heartwarming family dinner and prayer to close things out. It was simple, but it worked. By season 4, Duck Dynasty was pulling in over 11.8 million viewers, making it the most-watched nonfiction series in cable history. The merchandise boom was insane. Duck calls, t-shirts, bobbleheads, DVDs, cookbooks, even camouflage-themed devotional Bibles. You couldn't go into a Walmart without seeing a Robertson face staring back at you. But as with many things that rise fast, Duck Dynasty would eventually fall just as quickly. The trouble started in 2013 when Phil gave a controversial interview to GQ magazine. His comments on homosexuality and sin, rooted in his religious beliefs, sparked massive backlash. A&E briefly suspended him, but the fan base revolted. Millions threatened to boycott the network. The suspension was lifted in just 9 days. While many viewers supported the family's right to express their faith, the controversy marked a turning point. Viewership began to dip. The culture had shifted, and Duck Dynasty was caught in the crosshairs of the culture wars. Behind the scenes, the family had also grown weary. Fame had taken its toll. Their lives were now tabloid fodder, and the reality of the show often clashed with their real values. The Robertsons had always insisted the show remain clean. No cussing, no crudeness. but they felt increasingly out of place in the evolving landscape of cable television. In 2017, after 11 seasons and 131 episodes, the family announced that Duck Dynasty would come to an end. The final episode aired on March 29th, with a ratings boost that proved the family still had love from loyal fans. But was that really the end? Not exactly. After the show wrapped, several Robertsons launched independent ventures. Willie wrote a few books and continued growing the Duck Commander brand. Jase and Missy started a podcast and began working in ministry and charity. She launched Duck Call Room, a podcast full of stories, laughter, and faith. And Phil returned to preaching with a new platform, Unashamed, a podcast where he discusses theology, current events, and personal stories from his wild past. There's also The Blind, a 2023 feature film that tells the true backstory of Phil and Kay's marriage, showing his early struggles with alcohol, his redemption through faith, and how their family came together. The film was well received in the faith-based community and introduced a younger generation to the origins of the dynasty. As for a full-on reboot, A&E has made no official moves, but the Robertsons have hinted at future projects. In fact, the media company that produces Duck Dynasty, Warm Springs Productions, has kept the door open. The family still generates massive interest online, and with platforms like YouTube and streaming, they don't need cable to make a comeback. What makes Duck Dynasty endure, long after the cameras stopped rolling, is its unapologetic commitment to faith and family. Love it or roll your eyes at it, the show struck a chord. It offered a slice of Americana that felt rare in modern media, one where disagreements didn't lead to division, where meals ended in prayer, and where success didn't mean abandoning your roots. So if you're wondering whether we'll ever see the Robertsons back on screen, don't bet against them. After all, they didn't just build duck calls, they built a dynasty.